think Cardiff came in for a bid for you right at the end of January, but MK turned it down.
Yeah, I mean, I had one or two bits of interest in January, and obviously it wasn't right for the club at the time, so it wasn't to be. But obviously, thankfully, this time around there's some more interest, and I was fortunate enough to get something sorted and over the line. So yeah, I'm delighted to be back operating at this level, and I'm just raring to go now.
When you were playing in Turkey, and it was the top flight as well in Turkey, why did you then take the step down, if you like, to League One? Because why did you not move up, say, into the Championship?
Well, when I came back, obviously it was in the middle of a pandemic. I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in Turkey or, I was going to stay abroad or come back. So I sort of came back, and I was mulling over a few different offers at the time. And, obviously with the way things are in football, you're out of sight, out of mind. And that was sort of the case last year. I came back and I was sort of sitting around training on my own, waiting for one or two things to materialise. And, I wasn't prepared to wait, I mean, at the age I'm at sort of thing, I just don't think you can afford to sort of sit around and wait for the perfect opportunity. I think, obviously having the relationship I did with Russell, there was conversations of, coming till January or coming till the end of the season. And I just thought, I bought into the project that he was selling me, and, I thought it was an opportunity to just carry on playing football. I think, if you want to carry on playing, no matter what the level is, you'll go out there and play. There's so many lads I know who are of similar age to myself who have struggled to get clubs, and they've been maybe, whether it's their ego or other things, what have not sort of materialised for them. They've sort of not got anything sorted, and that was the sort of dilemma I had in the summer. Do I wait around? And obviously clubs, it's like in football, people are always spinning plates and wheeling and dealing and sort of not stringing you along, but holding you there. So, from my perspective, it was just about playing football again, and that's all I want to do. So I had no qualms about going down to MK and, dropping into League One and, playing home for a team that played really good, attractive football. So that was another sort of positive and plus that drew me down there.
And I'm assuming, Cameron, I think you're about a goal every other game for MK Dons. There must have been plenty of Championship interest, was there, just recently?
There was a few teams who was sort of, inquiring about my availability, and obviously one or two offers came in as well as Luton. So there was certainly interest there from Championship, from abroad, and from some of the teams in League One also. So it was about picking the right project for me, and that's what it is at this age. I think I've earned the right to sort of pick and choose what I want to do at this stage of my career. And obviously, having met Nathan and sat down with him and some of the staff at the club and had a meeting, and was sort of blown away by this sort of idea and the philosophy and the progress the club's making. And that's something that I always want to be a part of. I always want to be a part of something that's going forward, that's what's progressing, and that's going in the right direction. And that was the big factor in obviously coming down and signing at Luton.
I'm sure Mick Harford will have watched you when you were playing for MK Dons, so he must have been involved in the reason why you are a Hatter now.
Yeah, most definitely. I think, obviously just from hearing how the club's run and, the certain steps the club go to identify players and targets, I'm sure it would have been a joint decision from a number of people, from the recruitment team to the coaching staff, and obviously from the board as well. So, it's obviously a joint effort and a joint decision what goes into signing players. And I'm sure, obviously, Mick being a centre forward himself would have had his input as well.
What do they see your role as next season, Cameron? Well,
the manager's, sort of outlined that he's obviously wanting competition throughout various positions in the squad, and obviously the centre forward one with losing James Collins was one that they was obviously looking to fulfil. So obviously with the players they've got there, the younger sort of potential in some of the younger forwards they've got at the football club, it was an opportunity to get an experienced player in who can still perform at the level, but also can push and compete with the other players they've got at the club, and also to help sort of guide them as well, for them to have someone to look up to and to sort of learn off and to soak things up. And I think that was, I'd like to think that was one of the other factors that, the club recruiting someone of my age and my ability was key, because obviously, you've seen football nowadays, the the recruitment process and what clubs are trying to do. They're not really trying to fill squads with experienced players, 1 or 2 experienced players in the right positions, to sort of help and guide the younger players along. But football's become a business, and players are even bigger commodities nowadays. Obviously, with the buying and selling and obviously making profit from younger players nowadays. So obviously getting an older, experienced player who's been there and done that, but who can still perform and who can still contribute is the main reason, I'd guess.